Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Life Health Show. I'm excited about my next guest, and you will be too. His name's Orvel Douglas. Orvel, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Orvel, I have a lot of good questions for you today. Before we get started, can you briefly introduce yourself to the audience?
My name is Orvel Douglas. I live in New York City. I am from the United Kingdom. I've been here for 32 years. I've been from the plant-based diet for 30 years and fruitarian diet for 13.
Okay, so you've been a vegan for how many years?
Altogether with the fruitarian, altogether 30 years.
Okay, so how old are you now?
61, coming 62.
Okay, so 30 years ago, at 31 years old, what made you decide to go on a vegan diet?
Um, I was just kind of like, I just doing a lot of research on different diets. And at the time, when you're at a younger age, you just see like family members who when okay, for instance, when I was as a younger age, you see family members who are healthy and fit at a certain age, and then by the time they become like in their 40s and stuff like that, it seems like everyone got sick. So it kind of made me think, well, why is this happening? They were all healthy before, but now they're getting sick, and it just seems like it's happening to everyone. So for me, I just didn't want to be like that, because I had kids. I have a kid, I had a kid at the time, and I just said, something, it just got my thought pattern on. So I says, no, this has to be something to do with the diet. So I decided to do some research and things and read about different studies regarding food and disease and all that. And that's what made me do it.
Okay, so when you
Yeah.
first did it, you did research. When you first started a vegan diet, was it a lot of confusion, or did you know going into it, I'm going to take these supplements, I'm going to eat these foods, or is it something you learned along the way?
It's something I learned along the way. I just read books. I didn't take any supplements. I just changed totally. I just changed and just stop eating meats and stuff like that. And apparently, I think I was on the journey because back in 1985, the first thing I gave up was red meat and pork. So I've always kind of had kind of a health conscious kind of mind in a sense, and just wanted to learn new stuff and do different things. So that's thing, so I kind of knew in a sense, got, no meats, no dairy, no eggs, no cheese, no
Sure.
byproducts of those animal products and stuff like that.
And how was your diet and health prior to that?
It was great. That's the beauty of it, because I just didn't want it to go downhill, because I just saw everyone else who, they're always fit and healthy at a certain age, and then when they get older, like the 40s, they just kind of get sick. And I said, well, that if that's everybody, friends, family, my family, I said, well, something, I'm gonna try. It's prevention is better than cure, and I may just try and see what's gonna happen.
So
That's
you,
all I could do.
yeah, so you were doing it more for preventative,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah. For
okay.
preventive, yeah, yeah. I didn't have anything to reverse. It was all about prevention.
And prior to that, were you eating just the standard foods that most people eat, or
Yeah, I was in the standard food and most people eat, but I wasn't overdoing it. I was kind of more healthy conscious, or
got
but if you know what I say, you know
got
what you
you?
mean. But yeah, but I wasn't kind of like all out, yeah.
So then after about 14 or 15 years or 13 years on a vegan diet, you switched over to a raw food diet or fruitarian diet. So how'd that change happen?
Well, what it was, from the cook diet, I did a raw vegan diet for I think about 3 years. I did that, and that was pretty cool. But I'm not really like just a salad person. And I know you can actually prepare stuff through the dehydrators and stuff like that. That was really cool, but it just took too long. So coming to fruitarianism, it wasn't even something that I planned. It kind of just happened because I just found that, I was always busy on the go, and I was just eating fruits. And sometimes just eating fruits the whole time. So it wasn't kind of like, oh, let me try go from raw vegan. Raw vegan was something I wanted to try because in Facebook groups and stuff like that, I always was up to try something new. So that's why I did that. And then after that, I just kind of ended up just eating fruits.
So you did the vegan diet as preventative, and what made you go from a vegan diet to a raw food diet? Were you looking to improve something or just experiment?
Experiment. That's what it was.
Okay.
Experiment. That's what it was. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you were doing fine on a vegan diet, then you went to the raw food diet to experiment. And how were those 3 years? Did you notice a difference?
Yeah, yeah. It just seemed like I always had energy, but you just feel cleaner, more lighter. That's what it was.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then you pretty much naturally just started eating mostly fruits for
Fruits.
convenience and just because it
Yeah,
made more sense.
yeah, just convenient, and it just ended up like that, just kind of like, you know.
Okay. And you already said you don't take any supplements. No time did you take supplements throughout
No,
all
I've never
this.
taken any supplements, yeah,
Okay.
ever.
Do you get your blood work checked ever?
I used to, but not anymore. I
Now, when
used
you
to
say
get,
you used to, was that when you were vegan, fruitarian, or
yeah, when I was like vegan, when I was vegan, I used to do it. You know, everything was normal and stuff like that. But as I learned along the way, we've come into like even raw food and fruitarian. I find that our even though everything was normal to their standards, but you cannot really pinpoint, you cannot really as assess our numbers to people following an unhealthy diet. So I go by how I feel. After all that, because some people, for instance, some people may say, "Oh, my numbers, my iron levels were a little low. The doctor said I'm a little low, but they feel fine." But I think there may be numbers in between, and if you like, for instance, for cholesterol, if your numbers 1 point over something, they want to put you on drugs or whatever. So I kind of look at it in that respect.
Sure. Well, what do you do? Like, I know people tell me often they go by how they feel, and I think that should be one indicator of what you're doing. But for example, like something like a lot of people don't know they have cancer during stage 1 and 2 and 3. Then
Right,
it starts to actually affect them, and they go to the doctor and they say, "You got stage 4 cancer," and they
right,
had it a long time, but they didn't feel it. So
right, right.
not that we should live in fear, but I mean, we don't always feel something that's brewing up, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I totally agree with you, but I, I with myself, I know if I felt there was something wrong in my body, stuff like that, then I would kind of know, And when it comes and when it comes to cancer and things like that, or any disease, when it comes to raw bean or fruitarian, it's all about trusting what you do. That's what it is, because you already know what you're doing. It's all about trusting. So if you have that mindset of worrying about cancer, stuff like that, then that could probably cause cancer, because you're sending stress levels, stress hormones to your body and causing a disease when you're worrying about it. So as you know, in the raw vegan diet and fruitarian, we're seeing people reverse all deliberating kind of diseases from what they're doing. They may have something, but they're doing it. So if I had say like cancer or something like that, I mean, what would I do? I went to the doctor, how you got cancer, but I'm been eating this way all my life. What am I going to do? You know?
Sure, sure. Well, every diet known to man that's ever existed
Right.
has success stories and has tragedies, you know? So they
Absolutely.
both have good and bad, you know?
Those are good and bad. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yes.
So give us an example of what you do on the average day. What time do you normally wake up, let's say? Let's start with that.
I wake up at 4 a.m.
4 a.m. with an
Yes.
alarm or by yourself?
By myself.
By yourself, okay. Now, what time are you going to sleep normally?
Usually about maybe like usually like 10 o'clock. About 10
Okay,
o'clock.
okay.
About
So,
10 o'clock. Sometimes give or take, maybe a little earlier, give or take. It depends by the time I
okay.
get home. But yeah, about 10 o'clock.
So you're doing fine with about 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah, get up and get up, then I'll go to the gym.
Now, when you ate
Uh,
cooked food, did you need more sleep?
yeah, I slept longer when I was on a cooked food diet. I slept longer.
Okay. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so you get up at 4 a.m. What do you do at 4 a.m.?
I get myself together and go to the gym.
Go to the gym early. I like that. So
Yeah, early morning,
good.
first thing in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. How
yeah.
long do you spend at the gym?
About an hour and a half to 2 hours. It depends on what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay.
So one day, like every other one day is what weight training, weights, and that's about maybe hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, and the other day is cardio, like sprints. That's an hour. That's an hour, So I do different exercises within, cardio exercises. Yeah.
Okay. So then when do you have your first meal of the day usually?
Usually about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock.
Okay, so 1 or 2 o'clock. And what are you having normally on average? I know there are different times if you're traveling, things might change a little, but when you're on the average day, what do you eat at 1 o'clock?
I usually it depends, like it depends like what I have a taste for. So right now, is mangoes. So I've just been eating like mangoes. I just eat enough until I feel satisfied. And I only eat, to be honest, I only eat once a day. because I don't really, after I ate that, maybe 6 or 7 mangoes, I'm good. I'm good,
So
so yeah, so basically it's just like once a day I eat.
this is going to be interesting, folks, because Orvel doesn't know much about me, and so the mangoes you're getting are from what, the store?
Uh from there's a fruit market um in the Bronx where I
Okay,
go to. So they get like these nice organic mangoes,
yeah.
from yeah, uh-huh.
The interesting thing is, I actually have a farm, and I have mostly mangoes, and
Oh,
I
okay.
got over 50 mango trees with different varieties of mangoes.
Wow.
And we just had a big mango festival, and we had like 6,000 people come to the festival. You
Oh
got to
my
come
God.
next year. We had like 300,
Absolutely, absolutely,
we
absolutely.
we had 300 varieties of mangoes,
I'll
you
definitely
know.
keep that in mind,
So it's so great. But so I love mangoes. The thing is, why I'm saying that is because I grew up in New York eating those the mangoes there, and they don't compare to right off the tree. It's amazing.
No,
It's
they
amazing.
don't. I
Yeah.
know they don't. They really
Yeah.
don't because yeah, they don't. I had a lady. She had sent me some mangoes from Florida, and they were. I mean, they were really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And the mangoes in the stores that they sell here, I wouldn't buy them anyway. Number one, because they don't. You cannot even smell the aroma. If I cannot, you pick up that go to Whole Foods, you cannot smell the
Yeah.
aroma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't. So we used to get the Haitian type of mangoes here in New York. We don't get them anymore. Is I'm not too sure, something to do with the government, but those ones are really good.
Well,
And then
yeah.
after that, I couldn't really find any mangoes, so I just didn't. I stopped eating them. But recently, this year, I started back because this particular fruit market in the Bronx carry these mangoes from Mexico. I think they're called Hayden mangoes or something. They were
Yeah.
really good and yeah, really good. So yeah, so I started eating them again. So yeah, for
Yeah,
now,
those
yeah.
Haitian mangoes, by the way, if anyone's in that situation, they are Haitian mangoes. All Haitian mangoes are organic. They don't use pesticides, from what I understand.
Right.
And they
Yes.
are amazing. They really are.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
okay, so you're eating about 6 or 7 mangoes around 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, and th that's 1 o'clock. You've already exercised. And what do you do normally for work?
Okay. So I'm a sales manager for a cleaning service company. That's what I do. That's
Is it
my
a
day
nine to
job.
five job?
Uh, Kind of 9 to 3, really. Yeah,
Okay.
8:30 to 3. Yeah, yeah, give or
Okay,
take.
you
'Cause
got
I'm kind of
banker's hours.
I'm
Yeah,
in and out of the office, so so
gotcha.
sometimes I'm not even in the office, and then I do my own consultations regarding fruits, and I got
One.
a group,
Okay, coaching.
with
Yeah.
people, so coaching and stuff like that. So yeah, so
Okay.
it's stress free actually. So yeah, yeah.
There you go. And so at 3 o'clock, I mean, at 1 o'clock, you're eating your mangoes. And then so after you have 6 or 7 mangoes, do you eat it again?
I don't. I don't. I don't have. Before I used to eat twice a day. When I first started Fruitarian, I was eating, like twice. I was eating throughout the day. Then it came to I was eating like twice a day. And then not to say I was trying to just eat once a day, like a lot of people just say, oh, let me just do 1 meal a day. It was like a natural thing that just happened. That I mean, I could eat if I want to, but I didn't really need to because I felt satisfied. I saw that energy. I mean, there's room for food, but I don't need it if you understand. Because some people just eat out of convenience or just because the food is there. So that's what it was. So.
Do you ever feel the need or make an exception, or you just eat once a day and you're fine?
I just want to if I feel if there's couple of times I've had more than once a day. So if I feel yes, I would, but other than that, it's usually just once a day.
And when you've had a second meal in a day, do you make sure it's at a certain time, or can it be late at night, or you don't care, or do
It,
you watch
it,
that?
it doesn't matter. If you I usually it wouldn't be after 7 p.m. or 8 o'clock. It wouldn't be after that. And it would be even if I did eat something, it'd be something very light, maybe like some grapes or something like that. So yeah, I prefer to eat mono fruits,
And now
you
for
know.
13 years since you've been a fruitarian, is there one time where you used to eat more than one meal, or has there always been one
Yeah,
meal?
I used to eat, yeah, from the raw vegan, I was like in 2, 3 times. Then when I went to fruit tenders like twice, twice. And then all of a sudden, after years, it just like came to like once a day.
Sure. Now I know you're
Yeah.
not on the internet much or watching other people, but there is like a lot of people on something like this called an 80-10-10 diet, which is a lot of the so-called fruitarians that are out there now. They do something like this, but in that particular thing, they focus a lot on uh, getting enough food so you reach your numbers protein wise and all this. Do you
Yeah,
pay
I'm very
attention
familiar with
to
the 80-10-10. Yeah,
do
yeah,
you
yeah.
pay attention to any of that? How
No,
much numbers you no.
no. I
Okay.
don't I just don't I just eat. That's it, you
So,
know?
so what do you think about people that can sit down and eat? They say they could eat 30 bananas and they could eat 10 mangoes
Uh-huh.
and not. What do you think about that? Do you think that if that's fine for them, is there a point where you think that's a little too much?
I think if they can eat it, and I mean, I think it's fine for them if that's what, if they feel good about eating and it's not, they feel well, then, why
Sure,
not?
sure. And there are some other people that eat uh, a raw food diet, but they don't believe in fruits at all. And some of them are in situations where they can't get the fruit.
Right.
Again, for them, do you feel like they're doing the best for their situation, or do you think they need fruit in their diet?
Um, I think they probably need fruit in their diet. And even though they may be in a situation where you cannot get a lot of fruit in your diet, but you can get, wherever you are, you can get some kind of fruit. I don't think you need a multiple of different type of fruit. Only if that's what, if you cannot get a multiple, just do the best you can, just, whatever's available for you, then
Sure,
absolutely should eat that.
sure. And do you think? Like I know you don't take supplements or anything else, but do you
Right.
ever think like the main popular supplement is vitamin B12?
Yeah, haha.
Even though you don't take it, over the years, have you ever said, I wonder what my B12 is or get tested, or you're not even interested in any of that?
Yeah, I'm not even interested in it, because I just kind of just go forward. We as humans that we so programmed because we're coming from a certain lifestyle. We're doctors, this and that. We so programmed. This is what we need to do. We have to go and get tests for this and test for that and test for that. I'm trying to say, in the animal kingdom, these animals who are thriving on their diets and stuff like that, they just do what they're doing, and
Sure,
that's the type of mentality I have.
sure.
So I don't worry about those. I don't worry about those things. Just like I'll just say like almost 62 years old. I don't worry about that anymore because I feel great. I'm trying to say, not to say, I'm not saying that, anything can happen, but right now, I'm living
And
in it now, right now, and I feel great.
how much of what do you drink water throughout the day or no?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't. I just get my hydration from the fruits that I eat. It keeps me hydrated. The only time I would drink water is if for instance, if every now and then I may eat some raw vegan food every now and then, and I find after I eat it, maybe if all the herbs and spices what have been used, I get very thirsty within 20 minutes. It just seems like I can't get enough water. My throat gets thirsty. But when I'm just doing fruits alone, that never happens.
So when you say raw vegan food, you mean like a recipe or something?
Yeah, yeah, I would. There's. I don't make it. There's a particular restaurant that I'll go to sometime in Washington D.C. and their food is really good. It's raw vegan. It's very light. It's not heavy on.
What's the name of the place?
Elizabeth Gun Roll.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So they're not heavy on the nuts and seeds and the very small portions, and it's very light. But still, I mean, with that, I just still get a not really, really thirsty. But there's other places I've gone to where then I've had raw food, and it just seems so heavy with oils and whatever. I just it feels heavy within my system. Her restaurant, that doesn't happen. So that's really the only raw food I would eat right now. But before the other places that I've eaten at, I always seem to get thirsty and
Well,
stuff like
how often do you do something like that? Well, you talking once a week, once a month, once every 6 months?
I usually go once every couple of months or so if I go to DC because I'm in New
Okay,
York, So
okay.
if I go to DC, let me go and check out Elizabeth, and but not
Gotcha.
all, even when I go there, not all the time I go there. Yeah,
Gotcha. So,
yeah, just
Orvel, how? I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm not into energy things and all like that, but I like your energy, brother. I like
thank
it.
you,
I
thank
like
you.
it. I resonate with a lot of the things you're talking about. So I just want to say
Uh-huh.
it. So, but how tall are you and how much do you weigh?
I am 5'10", and I am maybe about like 165.
Okay. Now I know you work out and you work out smart early. You do some
Right.
cardio, some weightlifting, which is important. So
Yeah.
165. So what you've told me, from what I understand, you're eating under 1,000 calories a day. I know
Uh-huh.
you don't keep track of it, but
Right.
6 or 7 mangoes, and if mangoes aren't in season, you might be doing some other fruit. But if
Yeah.
you're eating under 1,000 calories a day, have you maintained your 165 weight over the years, or has it went up or down?
It depends on what I'm doing when it comes to it depends on my workouts what I'm doing. You know, so it it's gotta go up, it may be like 5 pounds either way. It depends on what I'm doing, you know. So different type of workouts. It really depends on that because I'm always changing my workouts, you know. So yeah.
Sure. And you're always getting 6 hours of sleep. You wake up without an alarm, right?
Even if I go to bed late, I still kind of, even if I'm not going to, even if I got like a day off in the gym and I'm getting late, real late, and I go to, I still kind of just kind of wake up at that time every day.
Yeah, and that's good and not good. I mean, it's good for you, but for people in general, some
Right,
people can train themselves to get up the same time every day, no matter what time they get to sleep. And
right.
it's not good to use an alarm, but it's also you want to make sure you're getting some good sleep because pe some people that are used put themselves in that habit. For people, it's not the wise.
No, no, not at all. I think sleep is very, very important. You know, when I wake up in the morning, I feel rested. You know, because you know you have if you go to the gym and do like 2 hours or something, like you have to be rested to kind of get it in. You know, so yeah,
Absolutely. Now,
yeah.
do you think ultimately the way you're eating will work for everyone, or do you think there are situations where people might need to eat more than once, or situations where people might even eat cooked food? Or do you think the raw food diet and fruitarian diet will be best for everyone, no matter the situation?
I think the raw food diet or you know the fruitarian diet will be best for everyone. You know when it comes to how many times a day a person eat, that's really on the way they made up. So I don't tell people to eat once a day. That's just I eat once a day. I didn't train to eat once a day. I mean these things when it comes to eating and stuff like that, I think it should be all about these things should happen naturally. So a lot of times especially when people are eating fruit, a lot of fruits, a lot of people tend to find that they eat less over a period of time without even trying, you know. But some people maybe are still addicted to food, so they just keep on eating. They'll this, you know, they could be like even fruits. They could be eating a whole ton of fruits when they don't really need that much. You know, they just
Sure,
want to eat. You know, and then
sure.
also there's another thing that a lot of people are scared about calories. They said, okay, I need to, eat a certain amount because you know what I mean because it's not enough calories. But at the same time, I always told people you cannot apply the rules of eating a standard diet to what you're doing. It's totally different. You cannot do that.
Sure. And
Uh-huh.
how important to you is organic food versus non-organic?
Organic food. I think organic food is very, very important. Um, Especially when it comes to fruits, anyway. And if if there's certain fruits that that are have like a thicker skin where you can get it conventional, then that would be fine to me. But I always try to get organic where I can, you know.
Sure, sure. By doing once a day, you're automatically doing something called intermittent fasting because you're fasting literally for about 23 hours every
Yeah,
day.
absolutely, yes.
But what's your opinion on long-term fast, like water fast, long term? What's your opinion?
Um, well, a lot of people say work for them. You know, they fast and it's help them to recover from health conditions and stuff like that. But I think back in the day, I used to water fast a lot. I used to do, this is before I discovered fruits, and I was doing also the cook vegan. I used to water fast a lot. Just I used to read books and kind of like just practice certain
Long
things.
term water fast?
Yeah, long term. I was doing like 21 days, 4 times a year.
Okay,
During the different seasons that I was doing. And then as I learned, as I learned more, I said, I mean, now I don't like because I eat fruits. I'm naturally fasting anyway. Because I'm only eating once a day. And also, if I was eating more than once a day, I still would be naturally fasting because with the hydration of fruits, they digest very, very quickly. Your body right goes back into a fasting state.
sure.
Yeah.
Do you consume dried fruits?
Yes, sometimes. I usually get these sun-dried, where they sun-dried, there's sun-dried raisins. Hunza raisins, you heard of them? Hunza raisins?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, those are the ones, yeah, yeah, those are for every now and then. Uh-huh.
Is there any fruit that you wouldn't eat?
I don't like the fatty fruits, like avocados. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it kind of makes me feel any fruits that has too much a concentration of fat, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good within my system.
What's your opinion about durian?
I don't like it.
Don't like the taste?
I don't like. I tasted one time and it was just like that was it. It's just like I didn't like the smell. I just that was it.
You got to try it 3 times.
Yeah, that's what I say. But I can't even.
Yeah,
That
I
was
didn't
my
like it
first
the first
impression.
time, and then the
Yeah,
second time I didn't, and the third one I fell in love with it.
right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So what about do you drink coconuts or eat coconuts?
I drink the water.
Okay.
I drink the water.
But you don't
That's
take
it.
you don't take the meat, the coconut.
I don't eat the meat. I've had it before. I used to. I've, I've made smoothies a long time ago with it. It was pretty good. Yeah, but I just like just basically the water. I just drink the coconut water.
Sure. How do you maintain a social lifestyle by pretty much not eating? Because you're going to say you eat once a day, but
Uh-huh.
between in the world, you're considered somebody who doesn't eat. So how
Right.
do you maintain a social life?
All very easy. Just don't eat. Just socialize. I mean, my friends know what I do. So
Sure.
we hang out and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you have a family? Are you married?
No, I'm single right now, but I have a family. I mean, my daughter, they're not here. My daughter and my grandkids are in England, stuff
Okay.
like that. So when they come here, they eat while I eat. Yeah, they'll go to the store and they'll eat some that gets like vegan food 'cause they like vegan foods and stuff like that. So they'll come here and eat vegan food and stuff like that. They find it they really like vegan food.
Now, how old are your children?
Well, my
Your
daughter
daughter.
is yeah, my daughter she's almost 41, and my granddaughter is 23, and my grandson is 5.
Okay, so you really don't have control over what they're eating at this point in your life, but
Uh-huh.
But if they're eating things like the standard diet, how does it make you feel? Or do you just like say they're in their own journey?
Yeah, well, if they're on journey, actually, my grandson, he basically eats mainly fruits. Mainly fruits. My granddaughter, when she's growing up, both my grandson, they just drink water. You won't give them, like sodas. They would never, or juice. They would never drink it. Never. It's just a natural thing with them. My grandson of fruits. His diet is basically plant-based. Actually, when he was first born, my daughter was a vegan. She became vegan for about 5, 6 years. And my grandson was born vegan as well up until I think about like 4 years old. But still now, he doesn't really eat. He eats the same thing every day. He doesn't really eat meat. He's always eat like this plant-based stuff. Sometimes the processed food, but he makes and stuff. But yeah, yeah, it's control for her to let But she knows. She already knows because she knows what I do. So. Yeah, and also my mother. Everybody knows what I do and stuff like that, and they've seen the progression in the years. So it helps them. So when they come over, they're all for going vegan while they're here.
Sure. So you've been pretty much on this one meal a day eating for how many years? I know you said you went 13 years ago, you went raw, and then about
Yeah,
10 years you've been fruitarian. How long have you been doing one meal a day?
about 4 years.
4 years.
About 4 years. Yes,
And
yes,
then for
yes.
about 6 years you did fruitarian 2 meals a day for the
Yeah,
most
but
part.
yeah. Back yeah, yeah.
Okay. And now, what was your weight before you went vegan? What was your weight growing up?
Oh, before I went vegan, my weight was I think I was like almost 200 pounds when I first came
Wow.
here. Yeah, when I first came here, and I
Wow.
just stripped it all off.
So then you went vegan. So when you went vegan, did you lose most of the weight?
Yeah. I lost the weight, the exercise. I incorporate both. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So between vegan and then going fruitarian, did you lose a lot of weight or
No, I didn't really lose a lot of weight. No, I kind of maintained it. I think because I think probably because I work out.
okay.
So
So give us an example of a day at the gym. I know it's
okay, okay. So when I'm doing my cardio days, I'll do sometimes I'll do high intensity interval training, which is like sprints. It's like for about 20 minutes. So basically, I may walk for 3 minutes, sprint my fastest for like 30 seconds, walk for 90 seconds, and sprint again. Do that about 8 times. That works out about 17 minutes and cool down. So that's about 20 minutes. So I may do it longer. And then sometimes I'll do the elliptical, or sometimes I may do like a steady run on the treadmill. Sometimes I do a faster run on the treadmill. Yeah, but right now, what I'm doing is right now, like yeah, yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, what I did just a regular run, and then for 30 minutes, like about 4 miles. Then I got on the elliptical, do like 30 minutes for about an hour, and that's it. My weight training days, I usually work the entire body. I do that every other day. I usually do 5 sets per body part. Two exercises per body part, like 5 sets.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
that took me about an hour, 1 hour, 40, 35, 40 minutes. Yeah, something like that.
do you have a trainer or you pretty much
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I train myself. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So like what you're doing, I don't know if you know this, but what you're doing breaks all the science of what people say with numbers and everything else. You're eating under 1,000 calories a day,
Right,
and from what you told me you're eating, you're probably not getting more than 10 grams of
right,
protein a day,
right.
and but it's working for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I told. Yeah, I said, I don't. Science can say what they want to say. What I mean, it's good for what I'm doing. It works for me. So, you know,
Sure. Now, what keeps you from eating like a green vegetable, like a lettuce or something? Some people say if you eat lettuce or celery with the fruit, it helps cut down the sugar rush into the body.
right.
I don't know if you've heard that, but what keeps you eating from some
Yeah,
kale or lettuce?
yeah. Nothing keeps me from doing it. But when people say that, I don't really agree with that, because it depends. I think when it comes to sugar rush in the body, it depends on your fat intake. If you're eating pure fruits, fruits is like, as obviously sugar. But your sugar's not going to raise up. If you have a meal of something fatty and stuff like that, and then you follow by fruits or something like that, then that's where the problem comes in. You know what I mean? Because that's where the sugars cannot get into the cells where they belong directly. Because fruits, as you know, fruits break down very, very quickly and it's shot into the cells. So if you have the obstruction of these other foods is fermenting with the other stuff that hasn't even broken down, that's where the sugar rush comes in. You know what I'm trying to say? So if a person is eating a lot of in their diet, eating like a lot of nuts and seeds and followed by fruits, and that's where kind of like,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So even on a raw food diet, you're saying fat's the issue with
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I think on a raw food diet as well. I think if you're gonna eat fruits, you should always eat fruits on an empty stomach before any meal. Then after you decide to, if you're having any of our higher fat foods, avocados, nuts and seeds throughout the day. I mean, you should really. I tell people don't bother with any more fruits for the rest of the day. But the moment you decide to eat something else, don't have any more fruits. Start back again tomorrow. So if you're eating fruits up until 12 o'clock, whatever amount of meals you eat in a day or whatever, then you decide to eat something else, then yeah. And I
you know,
find that's work. I find that work for. I've actually with a lot of my clients. I find that works with them. Especially who have like they've helped them to lower their sugar levels and get rid of their diabetes and stuff like that, because it just is, I think it's just a golden rule.
sure. Now all the years you've been doing this, have you ever had a bad day where you had a headache or you felt a little sluggish, or maybe you got a caught a cold from someone ever in all these years?
No, that's the thing. No, no. That's the beauty of it. No.
Okay,
And I think what it is as well, because also within the course of my life, I think a lot of time when people have like issues within their body, it could be from the medicine they've taken throughout their life. I mean, it could be that probably like a lot of antibiotics or whatever they've been taking. For me, I didn't really have any really childhood illnesses to take any medicines or stuff like that. So I didn't have any of that. So I think that was the reason why, I mean, I didn't really get any kind of those kind of symptoms.
sure. And so you said you did research before you went to a vegan diet.
Uh-huh.
And then did you do any research when you progressed to eating a raw diet, like reading some books, or did it just naturally happen?
Well, I went to a raw food vegan. There was a raw food vegan group on Facebook, and I joined that. And then I read a couple of books, recipe books, and I read some. They used to be talking. They would be talking about. There actually was a couple of raw groups I was in. Trying to, it was very educational
Sure.
regarding the foods and stuff like that. And if you got to dehydrate it under a certain temperature, otherwise it's cooked. And so it was, yeah. So I
Now,
kind of stuck to the rules of kind of doing that.
Now, I know you do coaching, and I'm going to put your contact details below for people that are interested in
Uh-huh.
contacting you. But what recommendations would you have for people that want to get started? Would you recommend them get any particular book or through any particular website? Of course, your coaching is available, but for people
Right.
that are on the internet in this interview right now, what would you tell people to do if they were interested in getting started?
Oh, if they were interested, I would say do a lot of reading. What's his name? Arnold Herritt. I
Arnold
pronounce
Ehret,
it.
yes.
Yeah, that is a good book to start with.
That's the
You know,
mucosal diet
the
healing
mucus
system.
diet. That's yeah, because that people are trying to heal. You know, and that's a good way. You know, you're trying to get that stuff out of your system. So yeah, that would be definitely that would be a good book. And I read that book. It's funny, I read that book. I remember I saw it in a health food store back in the 90s. I think it was for $2. I think it was like $2. I'll pay for the book, but I didn't know anything about fruit. I just read this. I said, oh, so I bought it and I read it, and this is before I even was thinking of what happened right now to where I'm at. It's kind of like weird, kind of weird.
What's the craziest thing somebody's ever told you when they found out about the way you eat?
Oh, you're lacking protein and this and that, kind of just say it's not sustainable, and I says 30 years later I'm still here. And especially when I first started, people thought, when I went to the vegan diet, people thought I lost my mind. you
Yeah.
know?
And I think I already asked you this, but you go to the bathroom every day
Yes, yes. First thing, as soon as I wake up,
at 4 in the morning.
yes, as soon as I wake up, I gotta go.
Okay.
Gotta go.
And you're not drinking water and anything in that early.
No, no, just yeah. I gotta go. Even first, I gotta go. First thing in the morning, I gotta go. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you urinate throughout the day?
Yes, yes, yes. Up until because after I eat my fruits, then maybe for a couple of hours, But it doesn't. It's not affecting me at night. So we have to get up and go to the bathroom because because I guess the time I'm eating and stuff like that. So
Now, when I lived in New York, I worked on Wall Street. I was going
uh,
back and forth in the trains, and I hear the trains are different now because now I hear they have wireless stuff on the train, and I imagine it's way different now. But back in the
right,
day, we didn't have that. So I
right,
remember standing on a full train, crowded car, coming home from work. The whole cart's full, and I'm thinking to myself, in this whole train car or this whole train subway, the whole train station, I'm
uh-huh,
probably the only one that's eating a raw vegan diet. So
uh-huh.
I'm going to ask you, Orvel, do you know anyone in this world that's eating the way you're eating? Because most fruitarians are trying to stuff as much fruit as they can, or they might not be trying, but they do. They stuff as much fruit as they can, and they're eating way more than once a day. Do you
Right.
know anyone in this world that you've heard of or contacted you, even that you coach, that's eating the same way you eat?
Yes, yes, actually, yes. And yes, and there's a lady, her name is Ina. I met her last week, funny enough. I met her last week. She's from Russia, but she lives in New York, and I met her last week, and I met her in person because we were always trying to meet, but never got a chance to meet. And then there's another guy, he calls it, his name, I think his name's Dima, called the Fruit Pilgrim. Have you heard of him before? Have you?
I haven't.
Well, I think he's been a fruitarian for like 10, 11 years or something like that. So he does a lot of traveling, and he likes to climb mountains and stuff like. So he was in New York for the first time, ever. So we all met up by Central Park last weekend. And that was really great. And they gave me a nice shirt and they gave me a nice bag with the fruit signs and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's so I met.
They eat once a day?
No, they eat more than once a day, but they just eat fruits.
But this is what I'm saying. I know a lot
Oh,
of people that claim to
oh,
be
right.
fruitarians, but I'm saying you're the only one I know that says you eat a fruitarian diet once a day, limiting it to 6 or 7 pieces of fruit. Do you know
Right.
anyone doing that? Because I
Yeah,
have,
I'm not, yeah, I don't know anybody else. I'm the only one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And do you ever think, well, I'm gonna, make a video or get my blood tested just to prove to everyone that I'm not uh so far out of the range where I'm dangerously putting myself in danger or
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. I'm not even going to do that. because you know, to people, you know, a lot of strangers want you to do that. I says, no, I'm not doing that. You know, I'm trying. I'm not doing that to do. I'm not gonna get my blood work to show. I'm not doing that. You know, I'm trying to say. I know how I feel. If you feel, you know, I mean, I'm not asking you to believe what I'm doing. I'm not. I'm all I'm talking about is what I do. You know, I'm not telling anyone you must do this. I don't do that. You know, I mean, I have a group on Facebook, a private group where people join and stuff like that. And then I don't on regular social media. I don't talk about what I do. People know what I do, but I don't talk about. I just have the group, get the people in the group, and then once the group is over, then I post on my regular page people all these different diseases like cancer have been reversed through doing. That's what I do, you know, and that's all they got to get from me,
Do you
you know.
personally know people that ate a fruitarian diet that overcome cancer?
Yeah, in my group, I've
Oh,
had, you know,
really?
I've had so many people in there with reverse kidney disease, um, breast cancer. This one lady, she had this real big tumor on her breast. This was a couple of years ago, and she joined my group. And after 28 days, the tumor disappeared, totally gone. I think I posted on my website as well. But yeah, but there's so many diabetes reversals, high cholesterol, psoriasis, eczema, so much different reversals. Every single time I've documented all these, you know, the reversals from the group that I do. So every single time the group is over, I post, I post it on my page. This is what's over. And if you think I'm lying, you can always contact them, you
Yeah, and
know,
that's on your Facebook page.
on my Facebook page. And I have them on my website as well. On my website, on
Sure.
my testimony page. And those testimonies, quite a few of those on my, yeah. But, and that's what's happened on fruit.
Well, if you're, let's say you knew somebody who had a newborn and they were
Uh-huh.
breastfeeding. Do you believe in breastfeeding?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay. Let's say, for example, the mother couldn't breastfeed.
Uh-huh.
Uh, what would you tell somebody you were coaching? What would you say from there? What would you feed the baby?
I would say feed them with some like fruit, pureed fruits. Um, I know also they could probably put a little bit of avocado in there and put a little bit of avocados and stuff like that. Just something substantial, you know, because the babies, when you know, when the babies are growing, right, you know, everything, as you know, everything, all the nutrients is in the breast milk. You know, there's fat in there, there's sugars in there, stuff like that. So I think combination of fruits with like some fat and some sugar, stuff like that, to kind of build up the baby's immune system up until a certain age.
Do you think within the diet that a newborn was eating, they should get something similar to the numbers that are in breast milk?
Um, I can't really say because I don't really know. I don't really know the numbers, but I know, you know, the babies. If you give the baby the food to eat and they eat it, you know, if they're eating it, you know, the actual like blending up those fruits and stuff like that, I think their body will process it because you know nature doesn't make any mistakes when it comes to eating. It's just like any species on the planet. They're young ones. It's like they naturally know they're born. They naturally know what to eat. Now with babies as well, um, babies love fruits because you can probably try and give a baby some greens, and the baby's just gonna cause a hissy fit. They're not gonna they don't want it. You know what I'm trying to say? So it kind of seems like babies they have that natural instinct within them, like any other species on the planet. They know what to eat until we corrupt them. You gotta eat this. You gotta eat this and force it. You know, but you know you give them, you put this green thing in front of them, and you got the fruits. The baby's gotta love and eat the fruits. You know what I mean? So they naturally know. It's
Sure.
just like a natural instinct.
What's your opinion about blending foods?
Blending food is fine. You know, it's not. I mean, it's better to eat the food whole. But you know, blending is fine. I mean, I make smoothies every now and then. You know, maybe not
Okay.
so. Maybe you know, just want something different. So I just make a smoothie, stuff like that,
Okay.
and that will be it.
For the day.
That will be for the day. Uh huh.
And so what about juicing? What's your opinion about juicing?
Juicing, I don't agree with juicing. There's nothing wrong with having a juice, having a glass of juice. So there's nothing wrong with that because I'm drinking juice as well. But I think when you're just juicing, you're just removing all that good stuff. You're removing all the fiber, and the fiber, as we know, the fiber in fruits are gut flora food. That's what it feeds off. I mean, about 80%, of those microbes make up our immune system. So you're not really getting that. I know people do juicing to lose weight and stuff like that, and they feel great. But the moment they start to eat back the food again, then it comes right back on.
Sure.
So juicing is, I think having juice is fine, but I think a long-term juicing, I don't even agree. But I know a lot of people do it and they feel great and get great health benefits, as I say. But I just look at it as the fact that you're actually depriving the gut microbes of their food.
How do you know the gut microbes require those the fiber?
Um, because I find when people eat these fruits and stuff like that, they recover from diseases quicker, a lot quicker than juicing. That's what I've seen. That the people, one guy, for instance, he had diabetes for 22 years in my group. After the first week, the diabetes type 2 gone. 7 years later, right now, he doesn't have it anymore. Because
Sure.
I think, the microbes, it really gets to the root cause of the problem. That's what I think anyway. I may be wrong, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
But do you base all your ideas on how you feel and what you've seen with other people, or do you put any weight on all about, what doctors say or textbooks say or science says?
Yeah, I basically go by how, a combination of what I think, what I see from other people. I go by observation. Regarding textbooks and stuff like that, something yes and some no. I think the best study is when a person, when it's an actual real person and actual these real people are getting the results. You know, Now if it's only one or two people getting results, then that will be a problem because okay, well, it's only one or two people. But if it's a whole bunch of people are getting the same results, and that's how that. So it's all about observation, really.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Well, a lot of the things you're saying, you're doing what's working for you. I think that's good. I meet a lot of people doing this, and I'm glad to have
Uh
you
huh.
on. And I
Thank you.
definitely I don't want to endorse or say one way or the other. I want people to figure out for themselves. Like when I wrote my
Absolutely.
first book, The Raw Life, I interviewed a lot of different people doing a raw diet in different ways,
Uh
so
huh.
people can choose. I have
Yes.
to say though, be careful. I can't endorse a newborn not getting some form of higher protein, whether it's from
Uh huh.
nuts, milks, or something, because the mother's milk is designed, and we got to match that, in my opinion. So
Right. Right.
so that's we got to really look close and be very sensitive when it's a newborn that can't get the mother's milk.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's true. I agree with you. And it really, if the mother is not making any milk, it really depends on the state of her health. So I should have thought of that in the first place because she's probably not vegan or anything like that. She's just kind of like, and she cannot produce milk and stuff like that. But yeah, I had one lady in my group. She went the whole 9 months pregnant on just on fruits, and the baby, she like 8 years old now.
wow, wow,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
body's amazing.
It's amazing, man.
People think it's amazing that somebody could switch to a raw food diet and get better from something like cancer. And I say all
Uh-huh.
the time, what's truly amazing is somebody could eat McDonald's as long as they eat it and not get cancer.
Right,
That's
right.
really the amazing thing because,
Uh-huh.
you have to work real hard to get sick folks. But if you just let the body do what it was designed to do, you're going to be healthy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. I
Well,
agree.
man,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. What message do you have for the people that are watching that are curious about this but doubtful as well? What message do you have for them?
Well, you only got to find out if you try. If you do not try, you're always going to be doubtful. So if you're doing something and it's not working for you, try something else. That's all you have to do. Then you can see if it's going to work for you, if it doesn't work for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you say working for somebody, do you mean just by how they feel, or actually the results? Are we looking at, if somebody's, what are we looking at to know what you're doing is working for you?
The way they feel, because a lot of people, they lack energy, they also feel tired all the time. So if they see even a slight improvement, oh, I got more energy, I don't have brain fog anymore. These are the small signs to show that, something's working.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, man, thank you. What is your website? If people and all your social media is on your website, right? How to get there?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
what's your website? I'll put the link below, but tell everybody your website.
My website is my name, orveldouglas.com. ORVELDOUGLAS.com. That's my
Okay.
website.
And besides your coaching, do you offer anything else in terms of, do you have books, videos, or anything like that?
Yes, I have two ebooks. I wrote two ebooks, and I have those there. You can find those on the website.
Okay.
And I got a lot of videos also on the media page on my website, interviews I've done with, other people like yourself. I got an interview with Gillian Berry next week. Uh, yeah, the sixth. Yeah, I got an interview with her. She interviewed me 2 years ago. So she's got me back in New York. So I'm gonna go into studios and have an interview with her next week. So I'll
Wonderful,
keep you posted.
wonderful.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so go to YouTube, everybody, and type his name. You'll see a good amount of things he's done. So let me
yes.
ask you this. What do you see people doing out there within the raw food movement that concerns you? Like if you see people eating a certain way, anything you see concerning you about the raw food way people or some people doing it?
Um, I think sometimes, I mean, some people, I think they sometimes they really overdo things. Sometimes they think for instance, fasting is great. I would talk about water fasting. Now we talk about like dry fasting now. People, I think they overdo it. When you overdo something, they take things to the extreme. I always say, if you're not thirsty and you're naturally fasting without any water and juice on it, that's fine. But sometimes you're waiting till you're looking at the clock, you're waiting for another 6 more days to go or something like that. And then, and I think that's concerning.
Okay,
I
so
think it's very
dry.
concerning. I mean, too long of a dry fasting, too long,
Okay,
you
okay.
know,
Anything
because
else?
they may be thirsty. They're really, really, really thirsty, but they're not going to drink anything because they're going by, okay, I'll set 2 days, 3 days to dry fast. And, you
That's
know,
very valid concern.
yes,
Absolutely. Anything
yeah.
else you see concerning about the way people are doing the raw food diet from what you see out there?
That's about it, really. I mean, people have their own ways of how they eat and stuff like that. I mean, so they're eating, they doing what they're supposed to do, sticking to the raw diet and stuff like that. So I don't really, that's the only really thing I kind of noticed. Some people go to the extremes of that, you know what I mean? But other than that, nothing else.
Wonderful, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time and being here. And
Thank you.
everybody, get to his website, check out his interviews that he's done online and his information. And even though he's from England, he's in New York, so he's a New Yorker.
Yeah, I'm a
So,
New Yorker.
yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, anything you want to say in closing?
uh, just thank you for having me on the show, and I'm glad I was able to have this conversation and share some information, vice versa. And it was great interview. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank
Well,
you.
if we
Right.
ever get down to Florida, I'll introduce you to some new amazing fruits.
Absolutely. I know I do come down there anyway because I have family there in Orlando. So so I have
Okay.
family in Orlando. Sometimes I go down to Miami as well. So I know it's on the way down. So of course.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. We'll keep in
Yeah.
touch. Thank you so much, brother.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right,
Take care.
everybody. Put your comments or questions below. Have a great day, everybody, and a great raw life.
Okay, thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.